There are many who say that mankind is a scourge on this planet. The elder gods, the cosmic forces pulling all of our strings, often set to offset the malevolence of man by creating malevolent, cursed objects. Cursed objects like this, or this, or pretty much any toy made before 1940 or so. And this movie is about one of them very cursed objects. It's called the monkey. It's about this monkey toy, monkey doll, whatever it is. It's a wind-up toy, big old wind-up toy. You wind it up, it thinks about it for a hot second, and when it's done playing its little drum tune, somebody is gonna pay the ultimate price. And who will that somebody be? Only the monkey knows. Hey everybody, it's your boy Ralph. Back again, talking about movies in a dodgy Boston accent. So the monkey. Ooh, quick disclaimer guys. I'm about to get real mean on this movie. But you know, I can imagine a perfectly decent human being of discerning taste enjoying this movie. So if you like this movie, good for you, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I will not hold it against you, okay? Because I'm about to get a little bit nasty on this one. The monkey is terrible. Here's how I look at it. So this past week, I've been having real problems with my dishwasher. It's getting clogged, it's making a mess, it stinks to high heaven, and I've spent all week trying to figure out just what the heck is going on. And despite all that, watching the monkey is by far the worst experience I've had this week. So where do we start? Well, we can start at the very beginning, you know, as Mother Mary used to say. I kinda knew I was in for a bumpy ride as soon as I saw Adam Scott. Now I like Adam Scott, he's good. He's got great comic chops and dramatic chops. He's crushing it in that Severance show. But he's doing this whole hammy thing, right? And I was like, oh, are we doing cameos? And that's all this is a cameo. There's a couple more of these little cameos too. And that's all it is. The opening is an extended cameo that's way over the top, completely devoid of suspense. And it sets up the rhythm of the movie. People acting way over the top in ways that aren't particularly funny. And then followed up with, you know, gratuitous gore. You know, I don't have a problem with gruesome special effects, even in the service of a comedy. I mean, this is supposed to be a comedy. You can see the sweat. They are trying so hard to make this thing funny, and it's awful. You know, there are these comedies out there that are so bad they're kind of notorious, right? There's a bunch of them. Life is too short for me to check it out and see for myself, but I feel like I watched one when I watched The Monkey, one of those notoriously bad comedies. So it turns out that Adam Scott is the father of this broken family. So I guess, I don't know, it's a year later or whatever, and we see he's got twin sons, and one of the sons is a good guy, one of the sons is a bad guy. And there's this single mom, played by another good actor, Tatiana Maslany. Good with comedy, good with drama. You know, she might be the high point of the movie. It just feels odd praising her performance, because it's kind of like if you had a bottle of rancid milk, and in the middle there was this little ball of regular milk. Oh, that little ball of regular milk was good though. I don't know. So the monkey appears in their lives again, and things turn tragic. And in the midst of all this tragedy, we got a bunch of nonsense. Like, look at this here.
Gone by accident. Or rather, in an accident. Because, you know, there's no accidents.
What movie is this guy in? You know, that's the thing, is a lot of the comedy feels like a bad YouTube skit. I don't know, man. You know, there's a lot of great horror comedies out there. One of my favorite horror comedies of all time is a little movie called Bubba Hotep. And it's an oddball of a film. It really is. And I'm not saying I was cracking up from beginning to end, but it got the tone right. This movie's tone is like amateur hour YouTube skit comedy. mixed in with this cursed, I don't know. The mix just doesn't work. You know, we got scenes like this. Oh, look, another cameo. We got Elijah Wood over here.
Feel that parental energy transferred from you to me.
It's like the director just said, hey, just do what you want, riff with it, you know, have fun with it. It's like, dude, make a movie. Don't make a goof. But then you got this other scene, this dramatic scene between father and son that are estranged, and I don't know, man. So this movie is serving up a pretty noxious cocktail of minimal suspense, terrible, terrible, terrible humor, and, you know, very over the top but well done, you know, gory special effects. You know, I like gory special effects as much as the next guy, but they made me angry in this context. You know, it's kind of like you made this unentertaining slop of a movie and tried to use the gory special effects as, hey, at least we got this, right? You guys like this. I felt insulted. You have gravely insulted me and my family lineage, Mr. Osgood Perkins. Now let's talk about this guy for a second, Mr. Perkins, you know? Now, I ain't gonna go on and on about the Nepo baby stuff. I'll treat him as if he's 100% legitimate, though this movie is not evidence to that end. He did Longlegs, a movie I thought was, you know, pretty decent. But the one thing it did pretty well is it picked a decent tone and it stuck with it. I gotta say, the premise itself is pretty decent. It's based on an old Stephen King story called The Monkey. You see this monkey, you wind it up, it plays its little drum, and somebody dies. Some sort of a Rube Goldberg situation, tragic accident, or in one case, a medical problem. Sort of weird. But the monkey decides. The monkey's got like this 100-foot radius around it, and I don't know if it's picking at random, or if it's going for pure chaos, right? Only the Eldritch Gods would know that. I think a straight up The Monkey might have been a decent movie. I don't know. I'm not a script doctor. I do not have a license to practice script medicine. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I've rambled on enough about this movie. But I will say one thing. And instead of just giving some ridiculously low score, you guys know how I feel about this movie. So instead, I'm gonna give a score to another movie I saw this week called Novocaine. Not really a horror movie, though it's got some elements, you know, some little elements of horror. Novocaine? I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. They're not similar, but I feel like they're both trying to be two things at once, one of them being humor. One pulls it off, the other one does not. So that's all I'm ever gonna talk about The Monkey again. Even in my regular life, if somebody says, hey, you seen The Monkey? I'm gonna say, I can't talk about it, man. I can't talk about it. And if they're gonna say, you know, oh, sorry, man, I didn't realize it was a sore spot. And I'm gonna say, no, that's not your fault, man. I just can't talk about it, you know? So that's gonna do it for today. Yeah. Spring has sprung. Let's bring spring into our hearts, shall we? Don't ask me what I mean by that. I try to be a skeleton of good vibrations. On that note, oh boy, I still don't have a good sign-off. See you later, Helen Slater. Oh dear. Oh my. Take care, bye.